Hey there, it's Elena Bear, and today I'm going to be making a Christmas card. I've already made this Christmas card. It's a gingerbread man who is actually a ninja, so he is a ninja bread man because I love puns. And then this is a Hanukkah card that says, "Get your llama-ka." Get it? That's supposed to be a llama. It's time for Hanukkah, and then he's got a yarmulke on, so there's another pun right there. The card I'm going to be making today, and I think for the sheep, I'm going to this. So if you want to see how I made this cute little Christmas card, then please keep watching. Use one of these textured white papers. Oh, hi Panda. So this one has this nice texture, and this one has like kind of polka dots. Not sure if you can see that, because that'll give it a little something extra. I guess I'll go with the polka dot one. And also, I'm going to use these scallop scissors to give the sheep a little bit more texture, I guess. Make it a little more interesting. Cat's walking all over me, I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do is draw on the back of this lumpy paper. Just kind of a rough sketch of the body of the sheep. I've already gone ahead and cut out the base of my card. And how I did that, it's the same with almost all of my videos on card making. I take a ruler and I measure out 10 inches this way and then 7 inches vertically. And that way, when I cut that out and I fold it in half, it is approximately 5 by 7, and it will fit in my envelopes that I have. So I know like how wide, the sheep can't be wider than this. So just kind of put that there as a guide. The legs and the head are going to be a different color, so I don't have to worry about that. Right now I'm just cutting out the actual body of the sheep. Now I'm going to use those scallop scissors to cut out this sheep's body. And anytime you're cutting stuff for cards, always make it a little bit bigger than you want it, because you can always trim the shape, but if you make it too small, then you kind of have to start over. So you don't want it to be like a perfect oval, because sheep are kind of oddly shaped. So I don't want it to be a really perfect circle or oval, although you can do that if that's like the look you're going for. I'm going to flip it this way maybe. So I'll put the head here and I'll do 4 little legs. I like making sheep because it's really easy. It's hard to mess it up. And they're really cute. Most people like sheep. So for the head and the legs, I just found this scrap of paper that I have from some other project. And it's kind of a bluish gray color. It looks a lot more blue in the camera than it really is, but it's kind of a dark gray, bluish thing. So now I'm going to just kind of, again, do a rough sketch of how big I want the sheep's head to be. All right, now I'm just going to take these smaller scissors and cut out this shape. So I was really planning on making several Christmas card tutorials, and I was planning to film myself do the Hanukkah card and all these extravagant plans I had, but I actually ended up getting surgery on my nose, on my sinuses, a little over a week ago, which that might explain if I sound kind of nasally right now. Still sort of recovering from that. So I was really down for the count for the last week and a half or so. Even before the surgery, I just had no energy or anything. So I was not able to make cards or videos or anything, and definitely bummed out about that, but what are you gonna do? So I know that this is kind of late, but better late than never or something. So what I did here is I just made 4 lines, and those are going to be the 4 legs. They're about the same size. They don't have to be perfect. But with things like this, you do want to make them longer, because they're gonna be like underneath here, and you can even make them look that short, but the point is you're gonna be putting glue on part of the leg, so at least that's how I like to do it. So I like to, if I'm doing arms or legs or whatever, kind of make them longer. And like I said, you know, if you make something bigger than you originally want it, then you can always trim it and make it smaller, but if you make it too small from the get-go, then you're kind of screwed. Does this sheep need a tail? I think he needs like a special tail. So I'm gonna just, where are these scallop scissors? Cut out a little circle for his tail. It'll be something like that. Now, I'm not gonna glue him down until I am like almost done cutting everything out, so that way I can kind of stage it and make sure everything's gonna fit, and that way I can figure out where he should be glued on the card. The next thing I'm going to make is a little Santa hat. This card is already red, so I'm going to take a different shade of red so that it doesn't just kind of all blend together. Here, I have this tiny little scrap. I can just use that. So I'm going to give him a Santa hat, and I'm also going to use a different white so that it doesn't blend in with his fleece. I'm going to use the scallop scissors again just to make the bottom of the hat, and what I'm going to do is kind of a curved line. And then I'm going to make a tiny little ball for the top of the Santa hat. So that'll be up there, and then this red is going to be the actual hat. It'll be something like that. And you can just use a black pen or marker to make the face, the eyes and the nose or whatever. If you have googly eyes, you could use those too. I think I have googly eyes somewhere, but I think they might be too big for this little head. So I'm just going to draw on the eyes. I think I want its legs a little shorter, so they're going to be more like that. Yeah, that's cute. For the words, I'm going to put one word up top and one at the bottom. And I have this scrap of paper that has snowflakes on it. And I like that it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to describe this brown, but it reminds me of like, you know, a brown paper bag. It's very hipster. So let me see how much I need at the top. I think this guy's gonna have to go a little lower. I'm approximately right in half. So I'll actually just fold this brown paper in half. This is why you should not throw away big scraps of paper that you have, because you can always reuse them for some other card. Now I'm going to put this in my handy dandy paper cutter. It's not actually mine, it's my mother-in-law's, but I steal it when I make cards. Alright, so that's going to go like that. And I think I'm going to use this like neon green instead of a traditional green, just because it's kind of more young and fun. Gonna just sort of eyeball how big I want this green to be over top of this brown color. I think I want it something like that. And I'll just make the top one the same size. But again, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball that. There isn't a whole lot of precision in this process, as you can see. You could definitely make this much more precise if you wanted to, but I think that that would take a lot longer, and when you have a bunch of cards to make, you don't want to spend too much time on one individual one. I know that's super hypocritical because I tend to spend forever doing this. So that's what that is going to look like. Now I can bring out the glue. First thing I'm going to do is glue the green onto the brown, and I just use standard Elmer's glue. There's a ton of fancy paper glues and stuff that you can buy, and I do have some like that, but for some reason I just keep going back to good old Elmer's glue. When you're using heavy cardstock like this, it doesn't tend to make the paper wrinkly or bleed too much. Like if you're using computer paper, then the Elmer's glue will totally warp the paper. Put that right up here. Let me make sure my Santa hat isn't underneath there. Okay. Just press that down for a few seconds. And then I'll do the same thing with this bottom one. I just adjusted my camera a little bit, so hopefully you can see better. All right, so now these top two things are glued down, and now I'm going to glue the actual sheep. I'm going to take his head off for a second and his tail, and I'm going to glue the legs onto the back of the body. Now I'm going to glue this whole body and legs onto the card. Trying to make room for the head over here. Now I'll glue on the tail. Now everything is glued down and I can write my words, but I think I'm going to add a couple snowflakes to make it even more festive. And these snowflakes were created using this punch thing. You can get these punches at any craft store like Michael's or Joann's or AC Moore. Now I'm going to grab a marker. This is like a calligraphy pen. I don't know how to do calligraphy, but I just try to write as pretty as I can, which is not very pretty, but anyway. And what I'm going to write is Fleece, Navidad. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the outside of the card. The person I'm giving this to is my sister-in-law, and she actually is minoring in Spanish, and she's like, I don't know, like really into learning Spanish or whatever, so that's why it's kind of like special for her. And of course, it's a pun, because that's like all I do, is make cards with puns on them apparently. And now for the inside, I usually like to continue the color story that's on the outside on the inside as well. So I have this brown paper again with the snowflakes, so I'll put that, and then I have already previously cut out this sort of off-white paper, and I used these scissors. I don't know what this like pattern is called, but it's really pretty. This is actually my favorite pair of scissors. And it gives you this kind of wavy look. So this is the same color that is on the Santa hat. So it's kind of continuing the same colors on the inside. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue these. And of course you don't have to have all these different layers, but I just think it looks so much nicer than just having one piece of paper glued to the inside. And that's where I'm going to write my little message to her. I'm not going to put anything else in the inside. I mean, you can feel free to decorate the inside, you know, with some more snowflakes or, you know, more cute things, but I usually just kind of make the inside pretty basic and just have like a nice message in there. And then one thing I always do is I always write the year on the back of the card, just so that in case the person does save the card, then, you know, as they're looking at these maybe years and years down the road, they know what year they received it. I know I always keep cards that people give me, so it's kind of nice to know like when you got it. Okay, so that is it for this really cute, simple Christmas card. This is definitely something that you can make with kids. You know, you may just cut out a couple steps and make it a little more simple than this even. It's pretty quick. It's easy, it's really cute, and I think that whoever you give it to will really appreciate that you took the time and made this from scratch, from the heart. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.